Do you have phones though?
Where's
the put, man? We need to play Warcraft.
Listen, it doesn't matter. It's Wednesday. It's on Cooldown, the mobile special edition. Yeah, you better believe it. And today we are talking about Warcraft Arclight Rumble, because that name is a bit too weird for me to pronounce. But
translated into English, it's Warcraft Arclight Rumble. I almost fucked it up as well. Man, fuck that shit. And it has been announced just yesterday. And we know this is mostly a WoW channel, but it is Warcraft, and it is the mobile game that we've been talking about for 2 years at least.
It was in 2018 when they announced
4 years.
Diablo Immortal, where they said that they're working on multiple mobile projects.
We suspected it's going to be Warcraft, but I think it was kind of confirmed around BFAs, like that they're working on a Warcraft mobile title.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting something similar along those lines that we've seen yesterday. So let's just get right into it. But before everything,
stop the press.
Listen. Patreon.com/MarcelianOnline. That is the place where the coolest people hang in the whole wide world, the universe, the everything. These are the people that are helping create the content that we do here on a daily basis. MoCast, podcast, on Cooldowns, new show, this is it, TLF, class guides, and a bunch of other things to come. So this is a plug for the Patreons, a thank you letter for the Patreons. And if you want to join the Patreons, the link is
you can definitely check the link below. Support us a little bit more. You make a lot of this possible. It makes us able to do more and more cool content for you guys, like this video.
And check it.
Click it. Awkward.
I'm just gonna say it. I think I said it in the intro. I think the name is too long. For a mobile game, it has a too goddamn long name.
Yeah,
Warcraft Arclight Rumble. I know they wanted to go for the war thing.
Yeah, if you look at the acronyms, like that's smart.
I mean, okay, fair enough. But the presentation was funny, but cringe for multiple reasons.
Right.
Chaos.
I think they tried to make a thing. They wanted a thing. They found the thing. They went with the thing. It's fine.
I don't know.
We can probably talk a little bit about how it looked, because obviously we got a little bit of a gameplay trailer, a little bit of insight on the game modes and everything. But first of all, the first impression that I got is that it looks very kid friendly.
Yeah,
it looks very Pixar, Disney.
Definitely catered to a different audience than what we normally kind of address here. So, but that doesn't mean anything necessarily.
It couldn't necessarily be that. I mean, I can enjoy something like that. It's goofy. It's fun. If it's not something that I'm going to sink all of my time into, it's going to be okay. The good part about this that I do want to mention is that the fact that it's obviously oriented towards a younger audience, because obviously everybody's going to think about this, the monetization system cannot be overly oppressive or overly gambly, if that's even a thing, right?
So this is the thing, right? In terms of like mobile games, we're kind of like used to a lot of like gacha shit, and you know the model that we're used to on at least in the predatory sense of the way, and I'm taking on money from these games is not the healthiest ones, right? Now looking at this, it does seem to feel more Western.
Because if you think about it, especially in EU, for all of you NA audience, right there are at least a few countries here that are banning loot boxes, and games that have loot boxes either are not on the market or they have that type of content restricted. So we know that's gonna be loot boxes just out of the box. Some way of getting, like, you know, a package of stuff that's random, that has different levels of quality. Yeah, so and I mean, that's not necessarily bad. It just matters how much content they put or how important the content in those boxes are. Because I've played Hearthstone, I didn't mind, for instance, initially just buying a couple of packs. That was fine, but once it became like, I need to spend $60 every 3 months for that game, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, and just speaking of Hearthstone, I kind of noticed this in terms of like the art style and the general imagery of the game. It kind of retains that I'll say cartoony, silly vibe as in Hearthstone. I was looking at the menus and stuff and the fonts as well. They kind of try to retain that color palette, I would say.
Graphical identity.
Exactly, yeah, and I feel that that's a good thing, even though you might say that in terms of like how it would appeal to, let's say, a more hardcore World of Warcraft audience, it's I get that it's cartoony and childish, but at the same time, I feel it's like really unique and interesting.
It's recognizable. It's familiar.
Yeah, and the fact that they use this kind of like toys, they look like toys, and
that was funny.
It's
okay,
cool.
that was funny.
I like that. I like that for the minis and stuff.
It wasn't taking itself too seriously.
That's important.
The premise is that it all happens in kind of like a pinball machine type game stuff. That was funny.
That was cool. Now, just like the gameplay, obviously we haven't touched on anything. We're just talking about what we have seen. But of course, you're gonna have some tower defense things going on over there. You know, they said they're gonna have dungeons and bosses and raids and stuff. And I think one of the coolest things for the game would be, we don't know this for sure, is like the time you would need to do something over there. Like, let's say if they have like this game mode enabled where, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick, stay 5 minutes over there. I just want to kill 2 bosses within a dungeon or whatever. I want to get that done there, because if it's gonna have like, okay, you had
the auto battle offline gameplay stuff.
That's bullshit. We don't want that. No. So I want to have the boss, like, if it's gonna block me at 50% HP. Oh, you need to wait 24 hours to be able to hit him for more.
I actually have a point to make on that one, because looking at it, it probably gives a lot of. You can see it in the comments as well. It gives you a strong Clash Royale vibe.
Oh yeah.
And Clash Royale is a game with it's a much simpler game than what Warcraft looked like. It has the lanes where you send units and they do stuff on the opposing side of the team. This one is a lot more interesting. Capture points, meeting stones, spells, heroes.
This is tower offense, as they say.
Yeah, so it's cool. And the why that's important is because Clash Royale doesn't have that. Doesn't have the the game plays itself offline and you gather resources or whatever and you speed that up with real money. It doesn't have that, so that's maybe a little bit hopeful that gameplay is not gonna be in it. So it's just because I think more mobile games tend to go this way, where it's just more on demand. Okay, I want to do something now. I have 5 to 15 minutes time to doodle around on my phone. Let's do something within this time.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair here. Personally, I'm not a big fan of mobile games. I don't think I've ever played 2 or 3 and then in my lifetime. I prefer, like, you know, if it's going to be an alternative to PC, console, or even portable like Nintendo Switch or whatever. Flame has played a lot more.
I actually have no games right now, but the only ones that I could enjoy is something that I can do on the toilet or on the bus or waiting for a taxi or whatever.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is we're not like anti-Warcraft mobile game if it's done right. I mean, we've seen Diablo Immortal footage and the how it looks and how it feels pretty decent. I mean, we're expecting at least something good to come out of it. And if we're going to talk about Blizzard polish, which wasn't really there on WoW, but from the looks of this, it kind of feels that it's pretty polished. And again, if it will not have this time getting and money grabbing like super hardcore stuff, it will be great for the toilet or in between. Let's say
we say this a lot, man. It's not like we're just taking a shit in our
no, but
in our spare time.
I would play a mobile game or sitting, I don't know, at the dentist office or waiting for something. Because to be honest, I'm not gonna like just decide on, okay, now I have 2 hours of free time. I'm just gonna sit on my ass and play a mobile game. That's not. Yeah,
that's this is a good, you brought up a good example, like Diablo Immortal versus Warcraft. I would not play Diablo Immortal on a phone if I could choose it.
Yeah, that's PC.
It's way too much involvement. But from the looks of it, and if you watch the trailer, if you haven't watched the trailer just yet, the controls seem very simplistic. It's just a couple of taps here and there. It's not like overly complicated menu, progression systems and skill trees. It doesn't feel like it's that. So that's good. Those are the kind of mobile games that I feel a lot more people can relate to, a lot more people can get into, since, you know, it doesn't take that much time. It doesn't look like it's gonna take a lot.
The big yellow button.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Feedback, the push
and start playing and stuff. This is the thing, right? It doesn't take itself seriously. It's not like lore behind it or whatever. It's just, you know, some silly goofness to get you going on it. And it does have the premise to be something really, really nice. And if this will come to fruition, you can be sure we're going to do some content on it, because let's all get serious here. It is Warcraft. You've seen the orcs, you've seen the Alliance foot soldiers, and by the way, one thing, the first thing that really got me, and I said, God damn, I want to play it, is the sounds. Have you heard those bastards?
I heard some war cries,
and the foot was like, super funny, man. And if they maintain this tone, and plus the minis, like the heroes that will become, obviously this is going to be like for future content as well. This is planned to be like in the future, they will add more and more and more. This is also something that could be tricky, like in terms of having you forced to collect. And,
it's
or it could be really cool.
I think like, they kind of learned a little bit from their Hearthstone monetization system, where they don't just lock entire expansions behind the big paywall. So I hope that also translates into this side. Again, we don't know for sure yet, so it's all speculation at this point. But it is still a Warcraft title. WoW is a big.
It's a big universe.
Big
it has a lot of
a lot of stuff. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's Warcraft.
Again, when you're looking at the Warcraft universe, you can obviously see the potential on going in multiple directions in terms of like types of games and platforms and whatever. And I feel they've done pretty good with this. Just seeing all of the iconic visuals from Warcraft, more in a cartoony way. But you've seen the orcs, you've seen the dragons, you've seen the alliance, the undead, and all of that. I think there's like 5 factions or something like that.
BlackRock, Undead, Alliance Horde, stuff like that. I would expect more.
And more will probably come for sure, and the beasts as well. So it has definitely the vibe of Warcraft, and we know that in the past, we had some Chinese knockouts for mobile games with Warcraft inspired stuff. None of it could really ring true to the actual birthplace of the franchise, and this kind of feels like it. So this is why we're probably going to do a couple of videos on it. Granted, the game is good, and as we said, it's not something that will restrict you in terms of like gaining and money grabbing techniques.
It depends a lot on what they put out, and thankfully enough, they did mention that the closed beta is going to be out soon. And I think Towley mentioned this on his stream, that it's set to release in 2022. Even if it's like, I don't know, December 2022, that's still not that far away if you consider the fact that we had no access to the game whatsoever. And the beta is obviously not going to be like a WoW patch beta or something like that that's going to last long. But I would expect at least a few months, considering how let's say the Hearthstone beta rolled out, that lasted for quite a bit. And so I would expect during the summer that we have the beta, because it's the summer, everybody's free, they might have more time to play.
And if they're on vacation, they'll take their phones and do stuff with them. As opposed to Hearthstone, was on PC first, and a lot later came onto the PC, mobile and tablet. One thing that we forgot to mention about this, they did mention that there's going to be guilds, and I know you said this because this could enable guild versus guild gameplay.
This adds a nice social spin to it, because a little bit of a background, I did play similar games in the past, like years back, with guilds, where they had the concept of raid, where you had, because you mentioned, the waiting for the game to do stuff. They had the concept of a boss that your guild had to fight, and obviously since nobody plays at the same time, you take a swing, see how much damage you do, that is translated into rewards. We'll see how they implemented it. It could be that, it could be something else. However, the concept of getting with your friends and actually working towards a goal is something that we've kind of lost in WoW. It's still retained in guilds when you raid, but it's not the same like it once was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this could reinvigorate that part of the community that is looking for a social connection. Is like, hey, my friend is like in a different part of the country right now, is like 2 hours ahead or something like that. I'm just gonna hit the boss now, show him how much damage I do, then he's gonna do his stuff. So that is an interesting dynamic that they could definitely take advantage of, considering that whether you like it or not, mobile devices right now, phones, are a bigger part of our culture, bigger part of our social aspect and how we socialize with each other. So it could be a gem that they can exploit for sure.
Yeah, if it's fun, again, and I've seen a lot of tweets from a lot of Blizzard devs, not necessarily that worked on the game, and everybody's super excited about this on the Blizzard camp over there. And if this excitement translates into the actual thing and it is fun, why not? I mean, again, it's not something that you would invest your whole gaming life in it. It would be a nice addition to something that already exists. Plus, again, it's in the Warcraft universe, and so far it delivers some sort of justice to it, at least from the side of like the quirkiness and the humor of it. So we can definitely vibe with it for sure. But hey, we're really curious to think on what you think, because this channel is basically garnered around a big World of Warcraft audience, which doesn't necessarily have the time or the patience for mobile games. And trust me, I understand. I'm the same way. But again, I do want to, let's say, enrich my shit experience and have some
open your mind. We would very much like to know what you guys think, and you can leave a comment down below. Does this look appealing to you? Is this something that you normally engage with? Is it a toilet game for you as well, or is it something that I have a couple of hours, I'm just gonna sit in my bed and just play on my phone, that kind of thing.
Or yeah, or would you look up Wowhead guides for it or something like that?
Or watch our videos.
Leave it in the comments and let us know. And before we leave, thank you Patreons for supporting the channel. We love you guys. You always make it worthwhile. And man, is it going to be a juicy ride still.
Yeah,
and thank you for watching the video up until this point. You have a great day ahead.
Take it easy. Peace.
Bye.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.